mean, I haven't really got any other talents apart from drumming, and that's debatable.
Oh my goodness. Well, they're all pretty useless.
My most useless talent is being able to put my mouth around a pint glass. Is that a talent?
I don't know, you'd have to ask other people that, actually.
My most useless talent. Well, I used to be able to turn television pictures upside down. That was pretty useless.
I used to be able to do a phone ring. There you go. Rubbish.
I can do that with my finger.
I'm not sure I've got any talent, useful or otherwise.
Go see my family, my son and my daughter. We've seen more of my daughter because we're bubbling with her, but I haven't seen enough of my son.
Go for a meal, I think. Probably go for a meal with Fiona.
Go to a sushi restaurant.
I think we're probably going to get together with a few close friends and just have a party.
Good question. Book a holiday in Italy, somewhere nice.
Used app on my phone. It's probably WhatsApp, if I'm honest. But what else? And the news, Apple News, which I keep deleting and then adding back again because I just waste so much time looking at the news and you can't do anything about it. So.
Kindle, I think. I've got a Kindle on the phone. Kindle and WhatsApp, probably.
I could actually tell you, couldn't I? I could. I'm going to do it. Hang on, you'll have to edit this, won't you?
It's probably Google, isn't it? I mean, you know, I would imagine. Or my emails. My wife is always telling me off. I'm always staring at my emails. Or Face app. Oh, Face app. Shows how often I go on that thing, doesn't it? Facebook, maybe.
So you go to your settings and you look at screen time and it tells me.
Probably Facebook, isn't it, really? Let's face it. But, you know, I have not a love-hate relationship with Facebook. I think Facebook, for an artist, is important, but you've got to avoid getting sucked into it, which some people do, and it can be a terrible time waster. And I'm not nuts on the whole tracking your personal information in programs and apps generally. But I think in terms of creating a global community, I think it's done a lot of good. It's created its own problems, but yeah, that's probably the one that I would say I use the most.
The most used app, fitness.
Oh gosh, this is sad. It's probably the banking apps. It's sad, but I have to look after the band's finances, and so I'm always checking to see whether we've got any money left.
How's that going?
I don't know. I've lost track.
never thought about owning a boat, but now you come to mention it, that's a good idea.
You do have a boat, don't you?
A boat?
Or a thing that you can put in water.
I have an inflatable, like, you know, life raft type thing, yeah. And I did give it a name. Yeah, this rings a bell, actually. And it wasn't Boaty McBoatface either.
Oh, I'd have to name it The Great Escape.
Light and air.
Any reason?
Just sounds groovy.
I don't know. It got a puncture, actually. I took it down some tiny little tributary of the Thames, and it was full of twigs and sharp sticks, and we were sinking. There was 4 of us in it. It was a bit... I was just relaxing and everybody was screaming.
Good old Marillion Death of Water, eh?
Yes, yes.
The last hope.
Bastard.
I think the era that we're living in, well, to be honest, I'd go back 20 or 30 years from where I was born. That would suit me, or maybe even just 10 years, so I could be a old teenager or in my 20s in the early 70s and experience that whole musical period as an adult rather than as a child.
Well, I was living in the 60s. And but I just wish I'd been a little bit older in the 60s to take full advantage of what was going on.
I'm happy with having lived through this era. It would have been nice to be around in the 60s. You know, when I say be around, not be 2 years old or whatever. To experience that booming music and the whole way that culture changed and society's changed, but I'm happy with living through, you know, the 60s, 70s, 80s, etc.
Do you know, I mean, there's all sorts of eras, aren't there? But I think the honest answer is, and I'm sure most people are like this, I'd want to be like 4 or 5 years older than I am, because everything that was going on that I wasn't allowed to do when I was a kid, and my sister's 4 years older than me, and I thought, the music, they're listening to better music than my friends are. They're doing better things than my friends are. And so, yeah, in all honesty, I think I'd just like to be a few years older.
Exactly the same answer as Mark, and exactly the same answer as Ian.
You're joking. That's incredible.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
Probably, I don't think I would have wanted to fight in the wars, so none of them. You know, if I could have been born in the born in the sort of mid-40s, then I would have reached a certain age, and I could have gone and seen the Beatles and Eric Clapton and Jimi Hendrix, and you know, whilst they were young and at their very, very best. I think that'd have been a good time to be alive. I just missed a lot of that. You know, it had just gone over. Probably then. Either then or, like, I really like the idea of flouncing around in Edwardian clothes. So Edwardian, darling. But I'd have had to have had a few bob.
You always look back, don't you, and think, oh, things were so much more fun, but they probably weren't. But yeah, I liked 60s. Short skirts, E-type Jaguars. I mean, I've stopped wearing the skirts though.
Thank you, good night.
Thanks for watching Marillion's official YouTube channel.
Remember to like this video.
Subscribe to the channel.
And hit the notification thingamajig.
So you're the first to know when we upload new content.